Hey everyone, Ken Tumolo with Tumolo Financial. This month's Tumolo talk has to do with capital gains. And the reason I chose to do that this month is I get a lot of questions, especially during tax time, and big questions. Within my 401k, there's capital gains there. Well, not technically there isn't. And within a 401k or an IRA, you're just taxed as you draw money out of it. Where the capital gains fall into it, I'm only going to go over the investment income, meaning stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I won't add other pieces where you can get capital gains, such as selling a house or selling a business. But let's just talk about investments. So back years ago, what happened was the government wanted to incentivize us to invest long term. So one of the ways they did it was they set up some better tax rates for us in the 0 to 20% range, and it's on those after tax accounts that are outside of retirement. And the idea was they were incentivizing us to go out and purchase a stock or a mutual fund, hold it for a long time, and then pay less in taxes on it. It's actually a pretty good deal. And what I always like to say is you like to plan around it. So you kind of mix different tax structures together that average your taxes down. So let's touch on some of the stuff with with capital gains. I'll share my screen. So first off, there's different tax rates, and you kind of got that in the beginning from me, but it all comes down to how long you hold these investments. So for an example, or we'll just go right through this, long-term capital gains, you have to hold something more than 1 year. If you hold it for more than 1 year, now you fall into the long-term capital gains rates of 0 to 20%. So if you're someone that, let's say, is falling in the 24% bracket or higher, and you're selling off some stocks, the stocks are obviously taxed at a lower rate than your income that you're receiving. So that could even be, you could even fall into, let's say, a 15% capital gains rate, whereas on your other money, you're paying 24% on. So kind of giving you an idea that you average different tax rates together to lower your taxes. Short-term gains. If you hold a stock for less than a year, it's taxed at your full tax rate. Just want to point that out. Capital gains only when you sell something, you have to hold it for more than 1 year. Also keep in mind the dividends off of those accounts, stocks, let's say 0 to 20% range. So you're trying to use different things to your advantage. Generating income off of stock, you're taxed at a different rate than your earned income. Or in retirement, taxed at a different rate than pulling money out of your IRA or 401k. So you take all these tax codes, tax rates, and you mix them together to try to average the taxes down over a long period of time. And one thing I'm going to touch on is mutual funds. Kind of hard to control the taxes there. And what I mean by that, sometimes you end up with phantom gains. And this is actually a big problem in the planning piece of it. And I'm not saying that mutual funds are bad. It's just one of the things to watch out for. For example, within the mutual fund, these funds will hold stock. And let's say a mutual fund owned Apple stock and they bought it in that fund 20 years ago. Well, let's say this year they decide to sell some of that Apple stock. Okay, so there's a gain within the fund. Well, guess who pays the taxes? The person that is holding that mutual fund in the year that they sell. Okay, so the person that might have held that mutual fund years back and got rid of it earlier is not liable for those taxes. It's actually the person holding it now. And what I mean by phantom gains is it kind of sneaks up on you because you're not controlling when that mutual fund sells those stocks. So end of the year, you might get your tax form and you've got capital gains on there and there's nothing that you can do about it. So what we typically do heading towards retirement or in retirement, we try to adjust portfolios to get away from the mutual funds and after-tax accounts if we can. It has to make sense mathematically for you, obviously. Just to give you an idea of the brackets, 0% brackets, single up to 44,000, married up to 89,000. One thing I will point out, other income adds in first. So if you made $89,000 working, anything above 89,250 that was a stock that you sold, you're automatically going to be in that 15% bracket when you sell that stock. So our tax code, some of the complications, the way that it counts things, One thing I'll point out, the 20% bracket on capital gains is pretty high across the board for people that are single, married. So it gives you a lot of room to control your taxes and try to keep things down in the 15% bracket. Years back, I actually have a client that we sold a lot of his stock early on in his retirement. He didn't take Social Security, didn't take a pension early on. He sold stock early on. We stayed under the thresholds, and he actually paid 0% in taxes on selling those stocks. So you can make it work to your advantage. It all depends on your picture. It comes down to your plan. So how we can help? Any more questions about capital gains? And I kept it quick and simple. Feel free to call us 860-650-3005. If you'd like to see how everything kind of fits together, different types of accounts, even one to start Social Security, we could run a Tumolo financial retirement checkup for you. And that's where we pull all the tax codes together for the different types of accounts that you have. So again, we're going to have some additional Tumolo talks. Hope you learned a little something today. Thank you.